Well, we're in the 90s and hoping that this is the end of that.
Whoa.
Yay. Yay.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mona, can you talk this time?
How's that?
No. We can hear you.
Oh my gosh.
Yay.
I tested everything before I joined, so who knows?
Seems great. Let me get on some notes. And Ginny, I saw that you sent me an email that said something about finishing something, but I haven't had a chance to look at the email yet.
I did. I finished. Well, I had done Sea Haven, and then I just finished a sweater for a little boy who's yet to be born.
Oh,
yep, he's boy number 2. So hold on.
welcome, Gwen. Welcome, Julia. Good to see Bev today. Good to see Mary Ellen, Mona, Teresa. Great.
Oh,
Oh,
that's adorable.
Ooh, let
sweet.
me pin you. Let me pin you. Hold on. Hold it right back up. Oh,
Adorable.
It's called, the pattern is called Elwood, and it I keep thinking of the Blues Brothers, like Jake and Elwood. And the pattern, it goes all the way up to adult.
Wow.
Like this, I think, is 12 month, and I had made it for my nephew's baby, and I think he wore it at 2. He wore it as a school picture last year, so Aunt Ginny was very proud. Yeah, so what I was saying is I always do back buttons, so those are the buttons on the front, but I do back buttons with baby sweaters so that they don't pull the buttons off. Put them in their mouths and swallow them.
Yeah, yes,
Good
yes.
idea. So a friend of mine went through her mother's button box to find me the blue, but yeah, it was really sweet. It was like this gigantic box, and her mother had them all sorted by color, and it was really kind of cool. So yeah, so little baby is born. He will have a sweater. I made one for his older brother, but that was a similar style, but different colors. So
Love it. And that was navy and white.
yeah, it's Sidar. I think I put it in the email to you. It's a Sidar country classic in white, and the dark color is called Petrel, Petrel, which is like navy.
Okay, cool.
And of course, now I've started this framed.
Oh, I'm gonna get you right back here. Oh my gosh, look at you go.
So
Very cool.
Oh,
yep.
That's the new Andrea Mowry.
So it's navy blue on the bottom. It's Rios in aquamarine as the blue, and I'm trying to think who the white is. Vintage. Actually, the blue and the white are both Barocco vintage.
Nice.
So that's just one pattern repeat, and it says you do between 2.5 to 3 repeats. So it's 26 rows repeat. So it says before you break out for the underarms, and then you knit it flat, and not looking forward to that, but we'll just go slowly.
Okay, Ginny, this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mona.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it a fun pattern? I've got that on my to start list.
Yeah, I mean, it has a tubular cast on for the hem.
Okay.
So that's, but she has links to videos. So, and again, I use Knit Companion. So if I didn't use Knit Companion, I'd probably pull my hair out. If you've done stranded knitting, it's not a big deal.
Okay. Thank you for showing.
Here's my floats.
Oh, looks good. Oh,
yeah.
Great.
Thanks. Sorry.
Well, my question was, I
didn't mean to interrupt yours.
No problem. No problem at all. I watched one of her podcasts, and she was talking about how she switched color dominance intentionally.
Okay.
And I thought that was a weird thing to do. So I wondered, is that written into the pattern or was that just her?
I mean, she has, colors A, B, and C. And the way she references it, I mean, I picked blue as my dominant. So, I saw a good video about always carrying your less dominant, your floats are always on top and your dominant color, the floats are below. And that
Mhm.
just was like, I've done a lot of stranded knitting and that one was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Because I have another sweater, it changed color. The way the colors looked, it changed in the middle of the sweater and I couldn't figure out why. So I think I was pulling the strand when I was doing the floats. I think I changed it. So, yeah, but that's interesting that you did that. It's really funny to me when you look at Ravelry and you see how many people copied her colors exactly.
Well, and when she mentioned that in the podcast about switching the dominance intentionally, maybe it was like every other pattern repeat, every vertical one. I don't know, maybe I misremembered, but because there was something about her sample that seemed a little bit busy to my eyes. And then when she mentioned that, I wondered, oh, I wonder if it was just because of how my eye was reading that little detail. I don't know.
It's funny. I had to step back from her when I first saw the pattern to see the pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see, because it basically looks like a Norwegian snowflake, or, it looks like something Scandinavian. And there are times I can't see it, or it's a quilt pattern too. I can't think.
It's a quilt pattern, and it was
right?
like my eyes were not relating to it. And I did wonder if it was that dominance factor once I'm pretty sure that's what she was saying. Anyway,
But plus
interesting.
she used an ombre that was,
Yeah.
It went from like a rust through a different, so that you lost it in there, which I was like, well, mine is sort of an ombre, but it's still basically, lavender, blue, aquamarine. So it's kind of a stash buster because I had 6 skeins of this Rios and aquamarine because I loved it. So,
Great.
and I think she's releasing a scarf. I think she's releasing a cowl or something with the same pattern. So,
oh, cool.
yeah. So that's me.
That's you. Well, anybody else want to give us a little knitting or otherwise crafty or anything update? Hi, Mary Ellen Mortola. Let me pin you.
So I finally finished this bag. I promised everybody 2
beautiful.
weeks ago I would
Beautiful.
finish it. And the handles were quite a challenge to, it's that they're, it has this nice twisty pattern throughout. And then you finish 12 inches of that and you finally get up to doing sort of an I cord to do the handles. And then you've got to kind of attach it, sort of along the way. So I got some help online, and I also got help from a local yarn store, and was able to finish. So I'm quite happy.
Way to
It's
go.
beautiful.
Really pretty.
It is.
What's the
Love
yarn?
it.
What's
It's
the
what's it called? It's a Pearl Soho yarn that is like a cotton, cotton, almost like 100%. And yeah, so the yarn was nice to work with, but and I have more of it to make another one, and I want to do it soon so I don't forget all this fancy work here.
Do the handles.
That's fabulous. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love that. And I think I already got your entry in for your prize that you told me.
Yes.
Just checking.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't pick a prize.
Oh.
Sorry. I'll have
Well, you can or you don't have to. Up to you.
I'll leave it to the fates.
Okay. How's everybody else doing?
This is my confidence builder scarf that I've been working on since we started meeting. And it's a super simple pattern. And so I have been working on it when I'm stressed. It's now 60 inches long, so I think I've been very stressed. But it works. It works. So I should have it finished by next time we meet.
Awesome.
I have a question for all you experienced professional, wonderful type knitters. So I added a new yarn, a new skein. How far should I go before how many rows should I do? Because this is one of those unending things. Before I start my end ruffle. Should I do like 4 rows, 6 rows?
Of a new color? You're saying how far to go in a new color before you end the project?
Yeah, it's a variegated yarn. So it's color is kind of, and it's going to wrap around my neck so many times I won't be able to breathe. So, but I wasn't sure if I should start the end ruffle now or if I should do a couple more rows.
Well, how many is there a ruffle at the other end?
Oh, yep.
So
Ooh, that.
I would make it like the same depth. If
Okay.
that's like 3 inches. What do you guys think? Like,
But
I'm a balanced person.
Yeah, they called it 16 rows, and I have 16 rows for the other end.
Oh.
So, but I
Ruffle on,
wasn't
girl.
sure if I should do a couple more of this section
I
before
mean,
I start the
so-
ruffle.
I think I would defer to, because it's a little dark for us. We can't really see the nuance of the color change, but I can see that there is some. I guess I would just say, you just started the new ball. You've got an inch or so you certainly can. There's no reason why you couldn't just go right into starting your ruffle now. In terms of the end, because you'll weave in the end no matter what. But if there's a reason regarding the color that you feel like, oh, you know what, I might want to go just a little further because of this color blending and how it will look with that would be my only thought.
Okay.
Anybody else have another idea or opinion? Okay, well,
That
that's
makes sense.
awesome. Congrats, you're getting there.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank
confidence booster projects are so awesome. And I think it's really great to have a project where you feel good about it, where you feel like you can get some rows in and it's not, 2 rows in, 1 row out or whatever. I think that's huge. And we have a binder in the shop, and mostly it's patterns that are free and relatively simple, and it's like I want to knit I think I want to knit something is the name of the binder, and we just kind of leave it out on the table because a lot of times in the summer especially, people wander in and they're like, oh, look, a knitting store, this is cool, like I might want to knit something. And so we found that instead of just sort of like having the deer in the headlights with people 15 times a day, that we could at least be like, oh, hey, we've got this binder as a place to start, maybe just thumb through and see what you can find. A lot, and most of them that we found are free. And, there's some great cowl patterns in there. There's some simple mitten patterns. There's a bunch of tin can knit stuff. But yeah, there's something so satisfying about a knit that you can just turn to and know that you can just pick it up and put it down. And
I one thing I have learned, well, many things, but one thing I've have learned is that I will always have a simple, I don't have to think much project going, because it's just, I have a friend who was diagnosed with advanced lymphoma. And then, so they put her in the hospital, they put her on chemo, she had a stroke, she got COVID, she'd had pneumonia twice, and all of that stuff. And of course, all of that has affected her poor brain. And, it's hard to see somebody you love like that. And so this is something, and I made sure that it was washable yarn so that I could cry on it. Hopefully the salt hasn't gotten to but just, we all I need something like that just, because I still feel like I'm producing something and it's just been, that's why it's 5 feet long. So, but I will always look back on this with gratitude, and to you guys too, because, you know, it just, I don't know what the right word is, but it's been a sanity saver. So
It's called a sisterhood.
yeah,
Mhm.
it is. It
We're
truly
there
is.
for you.
And thank
With
you.
you.
We all go through this at some point in time.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but so thank you all. And you can go back to the joyful stuff now.
Hey, it's all part of it,
All
you know.
joyful.
I think we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
And it is nice to have, as you say, I had a customer who was in a couple weeks ago, and she was picking out yarn because she was on her way to see her mom, who was in the process of dying, and she knew that she was going to be sitting with her, and she wanted something beautiful, and she wanted something that she could just enjoy while she was in that very special, tender place. So yeah.
Yes. Good for her. Good for her. But
I think this,
Judy,
this-
before I forget, I want to tell you that the cast on bind off book came into the shop. The one that we were talking about with the tubular cast on process that Jennifer is holding up right now. Let me pin it for a minute. Hold it still, Jennifer. Yeah. So we got a few copies in, and I think there's maybe 3 in the shop right now. So I wanted to make sure I remembered to tell you guys.
cool.
So that's available. And let's see, anybody have another project check-in to share? Yeah, Mary Ellen Mulhern, are we going to see? Oh my gosh, are we going to see Bear Bear?
Bear has clothes.
Oh, yay.
fun.
He has 2 outfits.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Isn't he?
This one,
oh,
He's great.
he has another sweater and hat.
God, it's too cute
Had
for
way too much
words.
fun with this one. How fabulous.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it great?
And he's so hip with
I was
he's
gonna
so
say,
hip
isn't it
with
great
that
doing little-
yellow. Oh no, sorry, Ginny, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't it great doing little projects like that like they go fast?
Yes, it's just awesome.
Right? Sorry, Iris.
I was gonna
okay.
admire his style because he's got that beautiful ochre color that is so of the moment.
And he has a hat to match. There.
Oh my
There.
golly.
Oh, he's
oh my
adorable.
God.
So,
Sweet.
anyway, he was really fun.
Who is it
This-
going to?
Well, right now I'm keeping it because I'll probably make some other ones, and I need to make, look at the face, and
So cute.
Right.
I need a scene pattern as well as a paper pattern. But it didn't take that long to do the bear itself, but the clothes take longer. They're just a little more fiddly, and but I think after the first set, it'll go faster.
Mhm.
But it was really fun.
I kind of
appreciate
want
it.
him to have a seasonal wardrobe. Do you think that you
I
might like
know.
make him a
He
Halloween
needs to have
costume?
Christmas clothes.
Christmas clothes.
I think he
Scarf.
might, excuse me, he might
He's-
need a female companion with cute little skirts and things.
Yes. So that was fun, and I'm just working on small things. I'm finishing a hat for charity, and I've had this crazy yarn for socks in my stash for a long time. So I'm just doing plain socks with this.
Lovely.
Where do you live, Mary Ellen?
I live in Media, outside of Philadelphia,
Oh, sure.
suburb of Philadelphia. Yeah.
My brother used to live in Doylestown
Okay. Yeah.
and
I know where
once
that
in
is.
Westchester.
Oh, Westchester's not far at all.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the update on the Bear Bear. We love him so much.
Mhm.
What a darling. Pat, are you up next?
I can be.
Yeah.
Do I erase this guy? Do I hit him again? It goes away. There we go. So I finished the socks I was working on and a little necklace or a little kerchief that I sent you pictures of some time ago. And
Yep.
then I started a shawl called the Dappled Sunlight
Ooh,
by Jennifer Wiseman. And I've got it finished and blocked.
For
And
you. Wow.
get it open here.
oh, beautiful.
Pretty.
Isn't that sweet?
It looks very
Yes, it
soft.
is.
Oh, pretty.
And I used some yarn from my stash. Wait, where's my book? It's the, I write everything down that I do because my brain doesn't remember it. It's Cloudborne's Highland Fingering.
Mm,
And there was enough left over after making this lovely thing to make a pair of fingerless gloves.
love it.
Oh,
Oh, they're
sweet.
beautiful.
Very
Nice.
sweet.
Oh,
And there's just a tad, 2 little balls left that I'm going to put in my stash for next time I make a crazy pair of socks, you know. And I have started on another free pattern that, like most of you, I just need something to keep me going, just to work on in the evenings. And this one's called the Sunday Morning Wrap.
Oh, nice.
ooh, I like that.
Oh,
Mm.
sweet.
It's by Lisa de Fraskia. Anyway, Epis Tricot is a Canadian company. And they have a yarn called Sunday Morning Yarn. It's a DK, but I had some Manos de Uruguay's Fino that I purchased from the goat recently. And
Is that the peacock feather? Is that the peacock feather color?
let's see. Hold on. I don't know where the wrap is. It might be. I've had it a little while. I don't know where the
Beautiful.
anyway.
Mm.
Did anybody else that bought the Fino? This is the first time I've ever had this happen with the Fino. It was kind of not matted together, but it was, because it's got a little bit of fuzz to it, a little bit of fluff hair. As I'm winding it and it's coming off the thing, it's stuck, and I would have to help it out and undo it a little bit. So, and I did two balls of it, and they were both the same way. Anyway, and I'm also holding mohair with it.
Oh, that's so
Gorgeous.
beautiful.
So it's going to be a little heavier. I've just barely started, but it's going to be kind of
Oh, yeah.
heavier.
I think I need to move to Pennsylvania next to you.
I know.
That
Oh
is
my gosh.
stunning. Oh my God.
Pretty.
So
See, it's going to be variegated, and I love. Once upon a time, I made a poncho with a oh gosh, what's that yarn? I can't think of the yarn. Anyway, and I held some mohair with it, and it made the prettiest fiber.
Mm.
It was so soft, and I wound up giving the poncho away and said, someday I'm going to make another something that has that same feeling. And I'm hoping this turns out to be nice and soft and warm, luscious.
I'm just putting that pattern right in the chat if anybody wants to look
Yes,
at it.
it's a free pattern.
Mhm.
It was free.
And I'm pretty sure I'm also going to put the link into the Fino, because I'm pretty sure it's that gorgeous peacock feather or
Yeah, if I
peacock.
could figure out
I'll
what
pop it right in. I'll put it in the chat and you can take a look.
I don't know where
But it's like, it's so pretty and so, yeah, like a peacock.
It makes sense that that's the color. Whoops, it all just went in the trash can. But I will in a second get up and go look for the other ball because it's got the label with it. And I'm not sure what I've done with the label for this one. It's not with it right this second. So
Really
anyway,
nice.
that's where I am.
Love to see your update, Pat. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, we missed you.
Pat, what was the first pattern, the one you finished? What was the name of that?
That one is called Dappled Sunlight, that shawl pattern.
Yeah.
I will put that in the chat as well. Oh,
Okay,
so
great.
pretty.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
made differently than any shawl I've ever done. You do the center section first. It's a triangle. It was kind of fun, really. You do the center section first, this triangle part. Can you see it?
I'm gonna pin it. Yeah.
And then you leave this side, on the needles, and you go that way and you put the rest on a stitch holder over here until you finish one side, and then you go back and pick them up and do the other side. Yeah, it was the first time. Normally, you work from one corner to the next corner. This one you did the middle and then you did the sides separately. So that would have been the only, not a challenge, but just a little different. But it's yummy. And I love the fiber. I like natural fiber, or not natural, but unwashable. What do you call that? Regular fibers. It's 100% wool. So
just stunning. And it just looks like it would fit on your shoulders, and it would just sit there in a nice way.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
And then put a little pin on there or something, to hold it in place.
Sure.
I actually wore it to church a couple of weeks ago. So 'cause it's always cooler inside with the air conditioning.
And did you say that was a fingering pattern?
That is fingering weight, yes.
So pretty.
Thank you. I got it upside down. No, it's hard to tell.
Does anybody else want to pop in? And Mona, I see your hand raised. Let me
Let's see.
Mona, can you unmute?
There.
Yeah, look at you go.
Oh.
All right. Look out, baby.
Oh, I don't know if this is going to work.
I can see you. We can
Okay.
see you.
And I've already sent this to you, so I finished.
Yeah. We're getting the blur. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
you know,
That's
Oh,
pretty.
so pretty. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
love it.
Wow.
So when I first started this, I'm thinking that I did it with that pheno yarn that you were talking about. And there was this shell pattern. That,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
I was very unsuccessful at, and there was a lot of frogging going on. So I ended up putting it aside, and then decided I was going to use a different yarn. So I still have that pheno yarn to use. So
It's great yarn.
yeah,
I
it
love
feels
it.
wonderful, but it just it doesn't like to be ripped apart and start over.
No, yes,
No.
correct.
I,
And that is peacock. It's called peacock plume,
Nice.
merino wool and silk.
So Mona, what yarn did you use? What weight on your one?
that is fingerling, and it's no, I don't have that in front of me. I sent it
that's
in
all
my
right.
Yeah, let me look it up for you because I know it's in my email.
Yeah.
Just give me a sec.
what is that memory all about?
I don't know, because mine always goes away when I'm trying. hard.
Dreamy, it's dreamy something.
Yeah, so it was the Aquarelle Shawl by Marie Green, and it was Dream in Color Smushy with Cashmere.
Okay.
So, so that's good. So I wanted to say to Pat, that very first shawl that you tried on that you said you wore to church, it makes a really nice collar up here. I don't know if that's intentional, but that's very attractive. And Beverly, I'm sorry that your stress reliever is so long. I hope, but you're right. You have to have something that you can
Thank you.
just knit and not have to follow a pattern.
Right, right.
So, I've been pretty good about, I'm working on,
Looks like your Scudic Bay.
yes.
Ooh,
So I
pretty cool.
finally got reacquainted where I was, and
Oh, yes.
gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
this is the right front. I just have to do the left front. So so it's
Looking
very
beautiful.
nice to be able to concentrate on this again. And it's nice to have something you can knit and watch, and this is okay with that. One of the other items I was doing was this sock, and it's
Beautiful.
2 yarns, and it's really hard because my yarns are not that different in color, and the pattern is every other round you're, holding 2 in front or holding 2 in back and then knitting 1 in front or back, and you'll notice it has a lifeline in it because I was really having a challenge. So so I've been working on this off and on without trying to start anything else. And then this one, I think, well, there's a but involved with that. This is Ann Bud's Icy Something cowl, and I actually dyed this yarn at a retreat, and it feels really good, and I really like the color. So and it's long, it's going to go around so it's not a cowl, it's just something that's longer. So and you probably all know this, but you pick up stitches and knit into the back every so often to get the ripples. And I had learned a trick on one of the gnomes that I made about picking up the stitches and holding them on a needle, so that when you're ready, you just have to pick them up. You don't have to hunt for them. You hunt for them all at once. It's really made it much easier. So
you're almost creating little welts, is that right? Like a nubbly bit, that texture.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just going like 5 rows down and picking up a stitch and then knitting it with a stitch on the needle.
Very cool.
So that's it. And then I'm taking so I am starting something new. I signed up for sweet tomato heel socks. I've never done a toe up. I'm going to attempt to do 2 at a time, but it's a knit along, and there's like 4 meetings. So it's just, I have to really think about it. So that won't be a TV knit. So no way, Jose. So
No.
but it's something that I've wanted to learn. So you just have to dive in and do it, right?
You got
Right.
it. Yep. Good for you. Well, and we're gonna do Socktober in October, and that will be just a 4-week mini knit along where we're all gonna just knit socks or work on socks we already started. And the sweet tomato heel is actually Kristen, owner of the Goat. That's actually one of her favorite heels for socks. So I don't know where she learned it, but that's a favorite. And the fun part about Socktober is just there's so many millions of ways to do everything with socks, and so invariably we're kind of like learning about a new technique or a new thing to try. And I really love that. And Bev, I took to heart what you suggested last week about kind of a beginner level friendly sock.
Yes, please.
And I discovered that Tin Can Knits has a worsted version of their rye sock. And I think it's great because to start with a worsted sock where it's bigger, it's not like you're having to fight with fingering yarn while you're just kind of learning that structure. And we know we can trust Tin Can Knits because they're awesome. And so I think there's going to be a couple of little options in our Socktober this year, and that will be one of them. Like if you would like to, knit your first sock, and it's one of the ones that can go in the app as well. So I think that's going to definitely be one of our little possible pathways for participating this year if people want it. And then we'll have some choose your own adventure, and then we'll have a little like more advanced, exciting option too if you want to try something really different. So fun stuff.
Can't wait.
Yay! Me too. Go ahead.
I need to go to the Cashmere Goat and get some yarn.
Always.
I was actually thinking about that. If I can butt in for just a second and make a little suggestion. For most of us remotes who can't come into the store, we don't know what's there. I wonder if maybe we could take 10 minutes, 15 minutes of our time together each time, maybe less, and have you give us kind of the highlights of guess what's new and what yarn has come in, and here's a DK weight, and here's a whatever. So we can get some ideas about, we've got stuff that we'd like to do, like this Sunday morning wrap. I really would like to do it in a lightweight wool, but I don't know what to pick. And I've looked online on your DK yarns, and I don't see anything that actually speaks to me. So if you could do a little show and tell for 10 minutes to get us started, maybe each time.
Before knit along, to do like a little like let's talk
like your little introduction, when everybody is coming on, just say, okay, here's what's going on in the shop this week. Here's what new yarn we got.
Well, okay, so logistically Wednesdays, that's a little tough because there's knitting group going on right now. But that's not to say that we couldn't do, especially if we're talking about like, hey, we're getting, as the first meeting or maybe a pre-meeting before we start a knit along, maybe I could arrange it so that it was a different evening and we could do kind of a show and tell, and I could talk through options and talk about properties of each of the yarns, possibilities. But yeah, that's actually a really fun idea. I love that idea. Maybe I should just here's some thoughts. If you're going to be making a cowl and you want to use this type of yarn, here's 3 or 4 options that we've got. Or here's our new knit along, and here's those 5 different kinds of ideas we were going to give you, and here's what they look like, Yes. Yep. I definitely could do that. And I was also thinking maybe, during finish along, we've got a couple left. Maybe I should just pack up a bag on a Tuesday and fill it with some of the fun stuff that's getting us excited in the shop. And I could, it wouldn't be like the shopping channel per se, but it would be, like show and tell.
Anyway, that was just a thought I had this week when I was frustratedly looking through my stash where I have 2 of everything and I need 3 of everything, so there's nothing to.
That's why I have 6 of this one, because I was like, I am not going to get, as the Who would say, we won't get fooled again.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to make sure when I finally find what I want to do with it, I have enough yarn and I don't have to think.
Right. And that's the challenge. All this yarn was on sale years ago. And I said, wow, I'm going to just jump in and get 1 or 2 of those. Okay, well, what do you do with 1 or 2 of those?
Exactly. But you've got your Pheno now. So that problem is solved, right?
Working on that. Yes, I love my Pheno.
That is awesome. I really like that idea. It's so much fun. That would, I love to talk about the stuff that we have.
I know, and I love to spend my money on the stuff that you have. I just don't know what you have.
There we go.
Do you do that? Do you do that in your podcast, your weekly podcast too? I mean,
we do talk about. Sometimes we'll talk about what's new or what's exciting. We'll pull over a few things. And I was just before I hopped on getting ready to do a little bit of editing and uploading because we had a podcast yesterday and Kristen came
Oh, yay.
and
How's she
joined
feeling?
in. She's doing better. I think she's starting to feel like there's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yay,
She's
bless
still
her.
taking it really slow, and that's great. But she happened to have an appointment, and she was like, "Are you doing a podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And she said, "Well, what if I came in?" So exciting. So anyway, it's a shorter one, but
Great.
yeah.
Well, I'm leaving for Maine tomorrow.
Woohoo!
And we're going to be in Algonquin for a few days. And then my brother's renting a house in South Bristol. So I said to my husband, we have to go to Camden. I know it's past South Bristol, but he liked the Sea Dog. Is that the,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when we were there. So I said, we can go there, but I'm going to the goat. I'm going to the goat.
That's hooray. Well,
Yeah.
great. Well, if you happen to come on a Sunday, you
It
could
will be
pop into the
Sunday.
finish. Yeah, so 11 to 2, come join us for the finish along.
There you
Like
go.
when did
I'll
who is
send
in
him to the
the
pub.
neighborhood?
Here, honey, I'll see you in 3 hours.
Yes. Oh, so good. All right. Does anybody else have a little update for us? Julia, how are you?
There we go. I had to mute. My husband decided to do dishes in the next room. I have started to bind off the sleeve on this little guy. My dentist and my hygienist both had babies last month, and I have to go in to have a new cap put on crown next week. So I'm hoping to take both of these in. And
Oh,
I'm told that the dentist herself's little one is quite tiny. So I think this should still be fine for fall. And
Beautiful.
I'm working across 3 different patterns, mostly for baby boys. And I keep sort of missing the boat when I could do a fussy girl thing because I don't find out it could be a fussy girl thing in time. So the stripe is for a little girl. I'm making a baseball jacket style. Oops. Really, there is a whole back there.
So cute.
It gets gray sleeves. I've just started my first sleeve. So it's going to be that way. And that's a washable wool. So I'm being kinder to that mama than I often am.
Mm.
And that little boy has a big sister, and I'm going to ask how this one fits him fits the boy, because if it's fairly large, I'll say, well, if it would also fit his sister, she could have one in purple and green and gray, because I have that too in my stash.
Very cute.
And then finally, the little green cotton sweater for a slightly older child. I'm on the second front. The first front actually came out pretty well. So I'm just waiting until the night when I have the right brain to make sure I line the buttonholes up properly.
That's always the trick, but that's so cute, that little garter with the pocket.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks. And when the brain's in the right place, it's a happy project. The stripy thing has given me fits because it should be simple. I just made the all green one a month ago. I have some dyslexia issues, and both times that I've made this pattern, I've had to restart it twice because I screw up something with the increases for the top down. And in this case, I think that because I was working across several patterns in the course of a couple of evenings, I had issues with the sizing. So I think I followed the wrong size in a couple of places. And so she has slightly beefed up arms, but I think that's okay. You can always roll them back, right?
Yes. And a lot of us have pretty beefy arms.
Yeah. And we've had a flip here from hot summer to cool and rainy already about a month early. And so I'm thinking that this should be good if we get an early cold fall.
Yeah.
Well, they have to,
Great.
she has to put that over baby clothes. So
Right.
those extra big sleeves probably will be welcome.
I agree.
I like that idea. Thank
And
you.
not to mention, she's got to get her hand in there to get that little arm into
That's
the
right.
right.
Mhm.
There's like, and the hand is fighting you.
I tested that. I can get my hand in it.
There you
That's
go.
great. Awesome.
Where do you live, Julia?
I'm outside of Seattle,
Oh,
Oh, okay.
rainy.
but I graduated from high school in Camden, so hence my long attachment to the goat and its predecessors in town.
Mm-hmm. And also I see over the corner of your shoulder, I'll pin you so everybody can look, but you know, I'm a former librarian, but always looking at people's bookshelves, but you've got Tess Gerritsen up there, who's one of our local authors to the Camden area. And that was
Yeah.
such a fun book, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a fabulous book. That's one of the reasons why it's face out on the shelf, because I'm also a former librarian.
Very cool. Yeah, no, that was a really fun read.
Oh,
Who's
I'll
the
make,
Well, go ahead.
I'll make one more comment about the striping on this. This was definitely a use up stash project. And I got down to the point where what I had left of the green, I cut into 2 balls, one for each arm. And this is what's left on one arm. There's the
Amazing.
end. So I know it's time to stop now.
You are a yarn chicken champion.
Yes.
I love winning.
What was the name of that book again and the author?
The
It's
Spy Coast.
The Spy Coast by Tess Gerritsen. Gerritsen. And it's really fun because it's about, well, there's a lot of local lore about Camden being I mean, it's like legitimately people talk about this, a retirement place for folks who have been in the Secret Service as spies, and
Cool.
and so this book kind of takes that and profiles a group of friends, and there's definitely some background to some of them, which is super fun.
Cool. I will look that one up. I like
Yeah.
those
I have,
kinds.
what was the name again? Please?
The Spy Coast.
Okay. And isn't
And
that author famous for something else? A TV show?
Everything. She's a very, very prolific. She's Rizzoli and Isles was a big
Oh.
one.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
And she's a local gal to us.
oh, okay. Well, I'll look that one up too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Julia, I had a similar problem with this one. That I was running out of the navy blue because I probably should have bought 2 skeins. And I
Life is
was
like
like,
that.
ooh, so because you do the body and then you go back and do the sleeves. And so I divided it into 2. And believe it or not, even though they're completely different, this navy blue matched it. I mean, I took it in the sunlight. I did it. And I did every other row. And then you're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
stripes. At one point, it was like 3 different yarns and you're carrying the white while you're doing the navy blue. I thought, I just have to finish this. I just have to finish this.
Yep.
But again, I was like, it's for a baby. I don't think the baby's going to notice, you know?
Definitely
And
not.
by the time it's spit up on it a couple of times, who's going to care?
I was thinking more like, you know, rubbing its arm on the high chair in the mashed potatoes and peas and carrots.
Spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
too. Yep. We
Oh,
want these to be worn through various adventures.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is why I couldn't say, oh, well, I'll do the cuff in white. No.
Mm-mm.
But it worked. So literally like
Awesome.
yarn chicken 100% came out with
Yep.
like some of it, but you know, I had enough of the navy blue. So
That
excuse me.
did it.
Yep.
Well, anybody else feel like a little check-in? No pressure to, but hey, Teresa, yeah.
So I mean, I've been continuing to plug away on the anniversary blanket.
Lovely.
Very pretty.
Uh,
Oh, it's beautiful.
Getting there. But
Yeah.
yeah, going kind of slow on that. Burned out from work, and then I stopped work and I can't even knit. So
That's not good.
but I was able to get energized on something kind of related. I'm going to Europe in a couple weeks, and so I need a project to bring, and it can't be one of the ones I'm in the middle of because I'm like almost done with a bunch, and that's
Yeah.
just not great. So I've got a bunch of unstarted shawls. So I was trying to figure out what shawl to bring, and I haven't done that. But instead, I started organizing my yarn stuff.
Oh,
Uh, So that's been a lot of fun. Finding all sorts of old yarn and getting rid of the stuff I'm just never going to use, like the acrylic Michael's Arts and Crafts stuff.
there you go.
But yeah, and I've found like yarn that I got like probably 12 years ago from the goat. So having a good time there, cataloging it all in Ravelry. So something productive, but soon I'll get back to the knitting.
Well, I'm also really interested. I can't wait to see what shawl you end up deciding on. So keep us posted on that. And
I
remind us
will.
where you're going as well.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a very late honeymoon. Because I've been married for years. But a very late honeymoon. We're going to Warsaw and Prague.
Wow.
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 Wonderful time.
That'll be exciting.
Awesome. And when do you leave?
September 2nd. So a couple weeks yet to get everything and the knitting project in order. But I have so many shawl kits that I've just been like hoarding from the Fiberside summer crawl shops.
Nice.
Because I've decided I really like knitting shawls. I like that I don't have
Me
to
too.
care about sizing.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
They make great gifts and everybody loves them.
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh, so
You meant-
good. I love that. Well, I'll tell you something that was a little bit sad. The other day, there was a husband, wife that came into the goat, and I guess they're on their sailboat and they have a few more weeks, and she finished her knitting project. And she was like, I didn't time it right. Like I finished too soon. And so she was kind of like, I just can't have nothing, I have to have something. And her husband was like, yeah, but if you don't have a knitting project, then you can do some boat chores. And she was like I said, I can't have nothing. She looked around, she looked in our I want to knit something binder. I think she settled on the cowl by Tin Can Knits. But like kind of one skein wondery, but she was like, I can't have nothing.
No.
That was so funny. Well, you could do the boat chores. Nope.
My husband actually doesn't let me leave the goat without having bought something.
Ooh,
He's a
good
good man.
husband.
He's a good man.
Good husband. Keep that one.
Mhm. Definitely.
What about
Anybody
you,
else?
Iris? How's your
Oh,
new?
what about? Well, Knit-A-Long is taking a break. We did get the last clue, except for it's not really the fully last clue because apparently there's a finishing clue. Which I was like, what? I thought we were. So it's actually it's on a break. I mean, I'm interested. Definitely, I'm fine with the final clue. I will definitely get there. Although I might need more yarn. I don't know. But I decided to give my full attention to this beautiful Irish Rover pullover that I've been working on with the
Ooh.
millstone tweed by
Pin
Barocco.
Pin yourself.
It's what?
Pin yourself.
Oh, pin myself. Right. Gosh, I always forget. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. So,
Oh,
so yeah,
pretty.
it's
Wow.
by Teti Lutzak, and it looks so fancy, but it's all just left crosses and right crosses.
I love
So,
texture.
for the texture,
I
and
like that.
it's really only like a 4-row repeat, so that's
awesome.
great. And
Wow.
good news is because it's Aran weight yarn, just whipped out this sleeve like nobody's business.
Wow.
And now
Perfect.
I'm on to sleeve 2, and I'm pretty far along with sleeve 2. So pretty soon it will be the time where it's the big magic joining. And of course, I'm doing the thing where I'm like, is this body really long enough? Is this body really long enough? Do I trust the pattern that the body's long enough? And I have to remember back to the Carbath knit along when so many people thought like, oh, this can't be possibly long enough, and they added length and then they were sorry. So I'm trusting the process, but loving it. And I'm using my short sleeve needles, which I really, really like to do. It's part of the interchangeable. And this is a swivel one of the Chow Goose. I find it very easy. I really enjoy that for a sleeve. I do have a show and tell, and I know Jennifer, you have this already, but I maybe saw this on our Instagram or whatever, but I don't think we had these the last time I saw you. This is a Phlox tool, and it's we ordered them about easily 6 months ago, and there were all sorts of problems, and we only just got them. But it's like, I was describing it to my husband, and I said, well, it can be a cable needle, and it could be picking up stitches tool, and it could be like you just secure a couple stitches because you dropped one and you do like this. I'm like, basically it's a multi-tool for knitters, okay? And because he's a knitter, I had to buy him one too, but it's awesome. It's my new little favorite doodad, and I've already had it come in handy when I was helping somebody fix a stitch recently. So that's exciting. It's called a Phlox.
My point exactly. The new stuff. We would never have known.
I know, it's really, and they come in different colors, and they're super bendy, and I'm yeah, they've been great. And the other thing, and of course, you know how I'm a nerd for all the tools, but the people that came up with the little Notion nooks came up with scissors that fits in it.
Oh, cute.
So they're so cute, and check it out. So this is attached, so it's not going to fall apart, and it's just like a little bit of an elastic that pops it back on. I know, I just like, my mind when I was doing an order, and I was like, oh my god, there's little
like a
baby
Barbie
scissors.
Would
We have to have them.
Would you hold up, the whole Notion Nook? I've not seen that before.
Kitty.
So the Notion Nook is here, and I have my other scissors that I still have to move into my other bag. But look at this. It closes with a magnet. And I mean, I like sometimes just for fun, I'm such a nerd, I like unpack it and repack it just because of me. But what's really neat, and I didn't realize that this was going to be a thing, but if I open up this one, because these are metal and that's a magnet, it kind of like propels the little stitch marker right up and over the edge, so it's at the ready.
Handy.
You know, when you had it folded up, my kids had, back when juice boxes first came out and kids were always squirting themselves, we had these plastic boxes that went around them so they couldn't squeeze it too hard. And it looked exactly like that. I was like, oh, mommy memory.
Aw, so funny. Yeah, so those are my two new favorite things.
I like the thing you showed that you hang the yarn on.
The mini minder.
I thought that is probably going to be something that goes home with me.
You definitely have to buy it because I'm using it. Yes. Oop. I've been using it on this sock to hold the stitches in front and back.
Oh yeah.
No, I meant the thing that's like a bracelet.
Oh.
Yes, the mini minder, the Lemonwood mini minder that like it spins, and it's a really, I just love their story of their company too, because it's like literally like a mom and two adult kids that have this business, and I think they really were having a hard time with like counterfeiters with their product because it's so simple and so beautiful, and they've got gorgeous designs, and I think it's all like a very pared down operation, and those are great. And we've got a nice selection right now. And Rachel, who I work with Mondays and Tuesdays, she's like, oh, I'll just have it on my wrist when I'm walking in the forest, and it won't like land in the duff down at or watching her kiddos, and then somebody else was like, or you're knitting in bed and you hang it on your bedpost, and it's just, yeah. So I think it's very clever and such a nice, elegant design. So beautiful.
My mind is coming up with all kinds of ways that we could advertise that, on a surfboard while you're, kayaking and.
Well, and I've definitely seen some people, not the drivers, but the people who are in the passenger seat who like hang it on the rear view mirror.
Right.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So much fun. Always with the fun things.
Toys.
Yeah, Jennifer, hello. You want to check in? Oh.
Can't get.
Oh. Not sure I'm hearing you. Are you, I think you're muted.
Sorry, everybody.
I thought I.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a couple of. I bought yarn because I had been coveting this yarn for a while, the Seven Sisters, and I think you might have been in the store, Iris, when I came in and I thought of this because somebody else just shared a yummy project where you hold the mohair together with the yarn. Well, this is Seven Sisters. This is periwinkle.
Astrid.
And it's very, very, very yummy fingering weight yarn. And you hold it together with mohair. And this is the mohair that I selected. I'm really excited about this. And I'm going to make Andrea Mallory's Pink Fizz. But mine's going to be periwinkle fizz. It's not, and it's not. I got home and I realized, oh my gosh, I miscalculated. I didn't order enough yarn, so I had to buy it online. So I had an order to pick up next time I'm in the store. But I was just so happy to have it all figured out. And I love these colors. It's gonna
Very
be
pretty.
Yeah.
yummy.
The periwinkle is just so beautiful. Just that periwinkle just is a standout.
I don't remember seeing that color in the store before. And other people were saying things about, oh, we want to know what's there.
She's frozen.
I'm out there probably once a week because
Jennifer, you're kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
South.
You're cutting in a little bit in and out.
Better now.
Sorry. Okay. I live almost an hour away from the store, but I'm there at least every other week. And I look at everything they have online. They post everything on the website. So if you're looking for something, they have new arrivals in a special section. All the little accoutrements are in a different section. You can find everything that way. But this periwinkle, I saw the color in person and just said, oh, I have to get that to do, because I've had the pattern for a while. I just hadn't used it. Then I signed up for a crochet along. That's going to be
Neat.
this blossom scarf. And
nice.
I bought yarn, but I didn't have the pattern out when I bought the yarn, and I didn't get the right amounts. And the colors were probably not going to work right. So I had to buy again.
Oh, darn.
This is part of it. I wound everything up yesterday. So I'm getting ready.
Ooh, so pretty.
Yummy colors. There's like a variegated red, a red, and then this too. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be a really fun project. Cause I crochet too, but I like knitting better. So when there's a crochet pattern that is pretty like that, I get excited about it.
Nice. Beautiful.
And I have 2 skeins of sock yarn from On the Round that I'm saving for Socktober.
Great.
Haven't made
Already
socks in a
planning
while.
ahead.
And
Awesome.
I tore apart my framed, even though
Oh.
I was done with like the first row of stars. I kept finding in my cast on like a little loop that looked like, oh, I didn't catch the right thing. And so it's so dark, this yarn. I just have like lights all over the place, and I have 2 lights out so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm just making sure I can kind of tell, like now I can see this. That means I got it all, like this is what I'm working on. But when I'm done, and it looks like that before I get rid of the waste yarn. So it'll be fine. It's okay. I'm getting faster, but I'd rather have it right than, if there were only 1 or 2 little problems, I probably would have left it alone, and I would have just gone in with a yarn needle and stitched it up. But it ended up being like 5 little boogers, and I'm like, no way. I'll be so unhappy with this. I would never wear the sweater.
Yeah.
So, and I have this is some of the yarn for it. This is some of the yarn for it, and then I have like the clay dreaming color. I'm really happy with the colors, but yeah. And I am still finishing my Scudic. Is that how you say it? Scudic Bay.
Yep.
So my Scudic Bay is, I'm almost done with the back.
Great.
Oh, pretty.
Ooh.
Love your yarn.
Looks so
I did
autumny.
I did a fade, and it's a lot of greens at the bottom.
Yep.
And then it went into like a multicolor. And then now it's the same multicolors, but lighter at the top. The whole idea is that it will make me look svelte and, and trim, because the darker colors at the bottom. But we'll see.
Amazing.
Solid color would have shown off the stitches better, but I think it's still pretty.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it. It's going to be beautiful for fall too. Well, thank you.
I have so many projects and not enough time.
Isn't that how it goes? Is there anybody else that, I know we're at the top of the hour, so if you need to head out.
Judy.
Let's see, Judy and maybe Beth McLean. You guys want to say a quick hello? Beth, you're good. Judy, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Talking about not having the right yardage. I ran into that with my current trying to finish the little cow. The problem, the reason is, since there were so many options and you could change things, I kept changing it. Okay. And then I came to the end and I was just short a couple rounds of the white yarn. So I put it aside, and I ripped out some, and I thought, well, I'll just do it a little differently. And I decided to go online one more time. And lo and behold, I found a skein of the yarn in a little town I've never heard of in New Hampshire.
Oh my gosh, great.
Friday.
And can you hold it up again for us, Judy? Because it was fast and it was so pretty. Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Beautiful stitches.
You need to get down, kitty cat.
It's quite different from what, I sort of created some of my own little patterns, etc.
Great.
So anyhow, I've had fun with it. And I got some some of the Manos de Uruguay from y'all in greens and blues, and I'm going to make one for my sister-in-law.
Oh, nice.
Really, really nice. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a fun one.
Great yarn.
Mhm.
She's a great friend.
Nice.
I did finish my little socks.
Ooh, yeah.
Yay!
Bravo.
Excellent.
And
They
then,
look comfy.
pardon?
They look comfy.
They are. This is my first pair of socks.
You
Oh,
did
amazing.
Very good.
To a friend of mine who's made many socks, and she really inspected them, and she said, kudos, I did a good job.
Yes, you
Aw,
did.
yay.
I'm working on the final thing of this pair.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow.
Lucy.
I'm doing the heel, and I keep missing a place to do. I made a little mistake, and I've decided I'm moving on because I can be a little obsessive. And so I've decided then I do the little heel, and then the easy part, and then the toe, which is easy. I finally got that under control. Doing toes because I kept missing something. And then I'm working on this little gator. This is my easy project.
Yeah.
That's cute. Is that self-striping yarn?
Yeah. It's
Oh yes, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and so
Very
that
pretty.
for travel, I like to have these because I make it long enough so I can pull it up over my head.
Nice.
It's raining.
Love that.
And then I'm still trying to I'm going to be taking a trip in October, and I'm trying to decide on the pattern for that one. It's going to be sort of like a turtleneck pullover. And it's from some yarn in my sash, which is bright red. And I'm going to use
Fun.
fingering and silk mohair together. I found the two colors because I had the mohair already. I found the two that really go well. And I was looking for a silk mohair in dark purple, if anybody knows of it.
Well,
I also
And
have
did-
the same yarn in purple.
Did you say you're looking for a pattern?
Yeah, I'm looking for something that's going to be fairly simple.
I
Okay.
have got the perfect thing.
What?
Give me 2 seconds to run get my pattern book.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah. It's a pattern that a local yarn shop in Maryland, the owner made the pattern. So
oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of these things have been a bit of a challenge for me, but I've really enjoyed all that I've learned from everybody in the group.
Yeah, and so you have not one but two pairs of socks. Good for you.
And I got, unfortunately, at a weak point, I bought little kits. I bought one, the Christmas stripe one, which is I'm going to do for October, from Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I had seen it online, and then I could never find it again. You know how you don't bookmark something when you should. And I finally found it. You had it in your shop, and so I got it. And I've been waiting and waiting, and I hope you could recommend a basic because it's a toe up. These are both toe. What I bought, you start at the top, and I wanted to learn how to do toe up.
Okay. Wow. We've got a couple of like show and
Those are
tells.
the
Let's have
ones-
Ginny first.
Yeah,
Ginny,
yeah.
look
No,
at your
that's the Earth. That's the Earth socks. That's what I was showing.
nice.
Oh,
And
okay.
they have, if you bought the thing in the box, there's a link to their pattern.
Oh,
And so
okay.
there's a link to toe up and top down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you,
think
you
so.
did yours toe up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And
Good show and tell.
nice heel. Oh, if you can see the heel.
Great.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. It looks.
I had to go in my suitcase. They're packed for Maine.
Oh,
It's like it's gonna be
yay.
cold.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It
Yeah.
could be.
fantastic. I'm glad to see. So I can always ask you if I have some problems.
If you have a problem, you can just speed dial Ginny.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat, let me
Okay.
see. What have you got here?
okay, so here's the cowl.
Yep.
It's fingering with mohair. And when it's cold, you just pull it up over your head.
Ooh.
If you want to.
Ah,
And
love it.
looks like it's just a tube.
Wow.
Smaller at the top, wider at the bottom. And it's
Perfect.
called Chelsea's Cow.
Chelsea. Mm. I'm taking notes of all these good patterns tonight, ladies.
Okay.
Kathy, what's Kathy's last name?
B-A-U.
B-A-U-C-O-M. Bocom.
Great.
And this is a no think. Just knit it.
And you said it's fingering and mohair?
Fingering and mohair.
So I can't wear mohair. What would you suggest to put with it? I like Angora mohair, all that stuff.
That might be an heiress question. I don't know what an alternative would be.
Well, some people who can't tolerate mohair can tolerate Surrey alpaca.
Oh,
yeah.
And I know we have Lang makes a cashmere like lace weight that's super soft. But you might want to, like, if you're we have some Surrey alpaca in the shop. It's not the lace weight, it's not as fine, but maybe you could just like stuff it up your sleeve while you're walking around the shop and just like feel, see how it does on your wrist.
what about the Astrid we got on the yarn cruise?
I mean,
something.
Oh, definitely. So, I mean, that has the merino and the silk, but you could hold that with something else to give the fuzz if you wanted the fuzz factor.
I have to think about the fuzz.
Yeah.
My
I mean,
godmother used to give me Angora sweaters all the time, and I was like, oh.
Well, and a lot of people just leave the fuzz out. I mean, you don't have to have the fuzz. If a beautiful fingering like Astrid would be gorgeous in what Pat's showing us. I mean,
this is actually a sock yarn that I picked up at her store, and then I picked up a mohair that was a similar color. I did it in pink as well.
I like
you
how
can
it
use
fits on
any
you.
kind of sock yarn, and it took just one skein of each.
Cool.
So that's the nice part.
Well, we're already right at 6:15, and everybody probably needs to get and eaten their dinners. But this has been a really fun meetup. Our next one will be 9/11 in 2 weeks, if you can believe that we'll be
in September.
in September. Wow.
2 weeks or 3?
Well, wait a minute. Let me double check
2
myself.
weeks.
That's 3.
No, that's 3, isn't it? 1, 2. Okay, so it would be I might have it written wrong in the emails. So let me, you know what? I'm going to say, let's just stick with the 11th because that's what I pulled out of the email. So it will be 3 weeks, and then we'll have our final one on the 25th.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. And so we'll be 3 weeks. So we'll look for some more progress reports. I'll try to bring a little bag of like some show and tell to share with you all, and it'll be good to see you. But thank you so much for joining us tonight.
So will Socktober start right after that?
Socktober will start right after that. Yeah, we'll just roll right into it. And yep, so we will have Socktober will start on the the 2nd, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we don't have to say goodbye for very long to each other.
Correct.
I just want to know what to shop for when I'm at the goat. Like I don't have a big enough stash.
We have lots of fun there for all of us.
I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Sneak it back.
All right, you guys will have a wonderful little while, and we'll catch up in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
you.
Okay, close. Oh, here we go.